Good morning, Dragon Squad, and welcome back to another week here at the Damage Report. Albeit, it's gonna be a short one. We got a Monday off. It's always weird when we get one of those 3-day weekends. It almost is enough to make one think, hey, maybe they should all be 3-day weekends. Maybe we deserve that. Maybe we should fight for that. Anyway, we had one, and now I'm back. I'm Johnny Derola. Thank you for being here. I know I don't look that happy in the thumbnail picture. It feels weird to smile in a thumbnail, especially about Trump. Anyway, I saw the comment about let's get this started before Trump is reinstated. Yeah, so that's going to be one of the things we're talking about today. Anyway, you know what else is going on today? Today is Fantastic Tuesdays, because we didn't have a Monday. So we're just going to pretend that today is Monday in all the ways that really matter. So we will have Francesca Fiorentini. We will have a top 10 list. That's coming. So what will that list be? Well, I know this now feels like forever ago, but I missed most of the news cycle of the Bernie Sanders what's in his rider thing, that he wants it to be 62 degrees or whatever. And so we're going to have a little fun with that. So Francesca and I are going to give you our top 10 things that would be in our riders if we had them and people cared enough to give us fancy stuff. So, probably more realistic for Francesca since she actually does tour and does comedy, but what would be in our riders? What would we expect when we went on tour? So that should be a little fun. Also, by the way, oh damn, they said it should be done, and so we did it. We've been talking about this for a while, but the Pride Dragon is now available at Shop TYT. As we alluded to last week, all profits from Shop TYT for today are going to go to the Trevor Project, so obviously very worthy cause. So you can get the new Pride Dragon, and the money doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to Damage Report. It doesn't go to TYT. It goes right to the Trevor Project. So a very worthwhile cause. And on the day of our big Pride special, which I'll be giving you more details on a little bit later on, and I will be joining, and I will be wearing the Pride Dragon. Anyway, you know who else isn't excited about Pride Month? That would be Ron DeSantis and most of the Republicans in Florida, because they decided, hey, first day of Pride Month, let's do something fun. Let's ban transgender females from girls and women's sports, because that's the new thing. By the way, you might have been led to believe by the fact that like all these bills have passed and there's been so much focus on the transgender community and right-wing media over the past few months that it's just this like trendy thing that they're doing because like they need to whip their base into a frenzy, find someone to hate. They don't really have anything substantive to come at Joe Biden on, so they've invented this as a big... No, you might think that. No, they just all really care about the integrity of women's sports, and they have for a long time, which is why this is just one of many different initiatives that the right has engaged in recently to make sure that women's sports is strong and well-funded and the athletes feel respected and all of that. Yeah. No. Ron DeSantis is just I was going to say amoral politician. Clearly not amoral. An immoral politician who believes, fuck those people. If you're transgender, fuck you. I think this will help me. I don't know. Maybe just today. Maybe they'll remember in a few months or in a year, or if I decide to run for president someday, if Trump chokes on a Filet-O-Fish or something. Fuck those people. I don't care if their lives become more difficult. I think it'll make me look cool. Maybe they'll say something nice about me on Fox News today. That is how this worked. That is the entirety of the thought process behind it. Not one of these people has ever or will ever give a shit about women's sports or women athletes or college sports generally, like high school sports generally. This is just a more egregious example of it. And that is how they launch into Pride Month. And they have millions of supporters. Governor DeSantis discusses fairness in high school sports. That is what the governor of Florida cares most about. fairness in high school sports, all of it. We have to be fair to our young athletes in all areas specifically constrained to this one issue, because Fox has gotten a bunch of conservatives to care about it a lot. Ugh. Anyway, Adam says, did you hear about the Kansas City Police Department suing the mayor over trying to defund the police? Crazy. Yeah, that's, you can't sue the mayor over that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, by the way, you know what's not fair? And I care about fairness in this stream. We're not at 1,000 likes yet. What the hell, people? I go away for 1 week, and I come back, and our grand traditions have fallen apart. Anyway, thank you to everybody who's already here, and especially those of you who have already hit the like button. Elizabeth says, does Trump think he'll be president by August, since the new Q prediction is that there will be a red wave on July 4th? Reported one to FBI yesterday. See, that's the thing. I haven't even heard about the red wave thing. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Aren't they supposed to, like, isn't part of the con that they pretend to not be explicitly supportive of Republicans? Like, they like Trump, but it's not supposed to just be the crazy online Republicans. Maybe those walls are falling apart. I don't know. Let's see. A lot of people saying Happy Pride. No. Today is about making young transgender kids feel like even more of outcasts than society and all the people around them likely have at that point. Making a difficult part of their life even more difficult. That is what the first day of Pride is supposed to be. That's what I learned from the governor of one of the biggest states in the country. Red Lantern says, Omega Shenron Dragon here. Performance allyship needs to be checked, and anyone, especially the promise donations parts of it, needs to be checked. Yes, sure. 100% it should be checked and confirmed. I agree. Isn't a red wave a sign that the ocean is dying? That's beyond. Don't even have expectations to that level. I get what you're saying, but no, it's not going to happen. People are mentioning Flynn wants a coup. Yes, so we're going to be talking about that with Francesca in a little bit. There's going to be a bit of coup in the pre-show, a bit of coup in the full show. I'm going to click away DeSantis, though. Oh, so we still don't have printers. So I'm now on my laptop, actually. Oh, by the way, so I couldn't remember. I don't know if Gemstar Dragon is here, and I couldn't remember if I had mentioned this before my break, but this dragon is a delight. Thank you, Janet, Gemstar Dragon, for sending it. Just want to make sure that anyone who goes out of their way to something super nice, like sending something to the studio that you feel recognized. I definitely had said something about this, but it was brought to my attention that it is possible that May Money wasn't here. I do have the script, so thank you. Or the manuscript, I should say. So thank you for that. Let's see. Spud says, inquiring minds want to know, did you finish the book? So yes, Spud, I did finish the book. I finished it late last Thursday. I am now taking a brief period of time off. I'm going to let it percolate before going into the process of editing, second drafting, and all that. I might try writing a couple little short stories set in the world, but thank you for inquiring. I do appreciate that. Okay, yes, let's see. Smash that like button. That would be nice. Thank you. Can't tell if Gemstar Dragon is here, but I see a lot of people addressing the Gemstar. Okay, so what else is going on? Well, in Bloomberg, they had this article titled, Spare a Thought for the Billions of People Who Will Never Exist. Subtitled, As World Population Growth Slows, the Never Conceived Are the Ultimate Forgotten Ones. It's just, so you probably get an idea of what it's about. The idea is that at a variety of levels, whether at the individual level, that one individual might choose to have one kid rather than two, or no kids rather than one, that is in some way like a philosophical infringement on the right to exist of a creature who never existed. And that beyond that, things like China's, population control measures and stuff like that are infringing on the right to exist. Here's the thing. As a philosophical exercise, Sure. If you want to engage in that, like, at what point does our right to exist not exist itself? That is an interesting thing to think about, I suppose. But no. Like, what about the right of the people who do exist to be able to continue to exist, to subsist even? Like, there are so many issues in so many parts of the world. Like, it might be that the arc of population worldwide is starting to trend down after decades of incredibly concerned predictions about it exploding and things like that. We have barely even begun to acknowledge that possibility. We don't need to immediately launch into no, there could have been a Sally, and now there won't be a Sally. There's a lot of Sallys. Hey, Janet, how's it going? Hey, Gemstar Dragon is here. Don't worry about sending a super chat. I see your comments too. We don't need to worry about that. Like, honestly, let's improve the lives of the people that are here. By the way, and it's conflating multiple things: government population control measures and individuals making a choice to have fewer or no kids are very different things. Now, that is entirely your right, no matter what. But we should acknowledge at least that some of those people are probably looking at their own economic situation, looking at the likely economic and maybe, state of the natural world that their kids would exist in. Maybe we could improve those things and subtly nudge people in the direction of feeling confident in their own situation, the situation that will likely greet their kids to have more, rather than philosophy guilting them, having the government do something. I mean, there's some things that the government could do and is doing, by the way. They've got their child tax credit and stuff like that. That certainly will have some sort of effect on family size. It's just, I like philosophy as much as I read theory, as much as the next guy. It just seems like such a weird thing considering all of the issues that we already face. Ixar says Schrodinger's right to exist. Exactly. Arlene says, hi, John, the new Pride Dragon. Can I be Cum Rice Dragon? Okay. That better mean dragon in Welsh, because I'm worried now, Arlene, but thank you. And you can. I won't necessarily say it very often, but you can. Kids ruin everything. That'll be my philosophical rebuttal, actually. Chickmana says, thanks for having our backs. Well, amen to have virtually everyone's back. Unless you're a self-defined awful person, as some people are, they get paid very well to be, I have your backs. By the way, somebody asked about the book, how many pages is it? So that's hardly the most important thing, quality is, and also pages depends totally on formatting, but the book is about 102,000 words, somewhere around there, I think. I haven't compiled it all into one big document, but it's somewhere a little bit north of 100,000 words. Wayne says, what a way to return from holiday, than to see our Dragon Lunchbox Daddy and Franny. Comment on Patriot as a pronoun. Yes, my comment is, oh, God. They're not sending their best with Lauren Boebert. They're not sending their best, Wayne. Ray Turner says, welcome home, Johnny Pie. Francesca was great, of course, but we missed our Dragon Daddy. Can I ask, when is the closing date for the Twitch pitch? I don't know, but I will try to find out. By the way, I'm not returning right now. I was here on Friday. And let me just say, Ben Dixon and I had a ball. I hope that you enjoyed that show. That was the most fun I've had on the show in quite some time. I don't know if it was the rundown, or that I was fresh off of a long break, or that I was on the, still coming off the high of having finished my novel, but we had so much fun. Non-Human Humanist says, hey, how's it going? Does men also believe that teenage boys commit mass murder regularly? No, they only care about putting people with a uterus in misery. Yes, exactly. Let's see. Chaotic Dreamer says, John, I'm holding my like hostage until you say something nice about Stroop waffles. I mean, Stroop waffles are the best. They're good straight out of the package. They're even better when softened over a warm morning beverage. Forbes Zilla says, John, still haven't gotten my letter yet. They haven't delivered anything in the last week or so, so that does not mean that it's not coming. I'm not going to say that nothing has been lost, ever, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming. Red Lantern says the government wants to pull a systematic Arkham City. I don't know enough about that canon to know what you mean. Sorry, I've only played a little bit of those games. Ahsoka says, keep up the good work. Can I be Hamster Dragon? Also, had to put down my sweet hamster June yesterday, but also recently adopted the bro of another ham. It's very sad. I'm sorry to hear that. And in your June's honor, yes, Hamster Dragon. Phyllis K, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Everybody who's already hit the like button. I broke Ben Dixon. I briefly broke Ben Dixon. Well, really, it was Marjorie Green that broke him. Diana Lee says, contribution to coffee fund. Thank you. I am going to need a little bit more coffee before the show today. Okay, I'm not a comic nerd, I'm a fantasy nerd. Exactly, as much as I like the MCU, and I really do, I have read relatively few comics in my life. Sorry about that. Okay, so little tidbit of news that is actionable, I believe. So, the New York Times today came out with a story talking about the many people, apparently maybe up to a third of all of the people who have not been vaccinated yet, citing concerns about the possible cost of the vaccine as a reason for not getting it. Because despite a lot of effort by the media and by politicians to reassure people that there shouldn't be, and in 99.999% of all cases there will not be, any cost of having the vaccine, regardless of whether you have Moderna or Pfizer or J&J, as I did, you will not have to pay for it. And here's the thing, a lot of people still think that you might have to pay for it, and I get it. I've been screwed over by pharmaceutical companies, by doctors, by all of that, and a lot of other people have been screwed over far worse. So if you're worried about random bills popping up, I totally get it, but there will not be cost. I went in, they just stuck it in my arm, and that was it. There was no complicated paperwork that had to be filled out or anything like that. I don't know that they could bill me if they wanted to. But anyway, the reason that this is actionable is talk to the people in your life that aren't vaccinated or might not be vaccinated, because, look, there's going to be a lot of reasons that they will give that you will be ultimately probably quite powerless to fight against. If they believe that there's microchips in there, if they believe that it's going to give them the mutant gene or something, there's probably not much you can say. But that does not mean that some people who haven't gotten vaccinated or are sort of putting it off might have slightly less irrational fears. Like, for instance, possibly worrying about costs. So if that is a thing that you can potentially help someone in your life, do it. If you've been avoiding conversations with people who might not be vaccinated, I get it. You're probably worried about what that conversation is going to look like, and there's a lot of crazy people in this country. But this is one that I think that we can potentially win on. So let's get through to those people. More and more people are getting vaccinated every single day. How many? Let's see what we're up to. Okay. Vaccine tracker. Okay. It's looking like a good number of states, basically the entire Northeast is above 55, 60%, the entire West Coast. Right now, what's looking worst is you got like your Utahs and mainly you have your South. Florida doing okay. Texas is still a little bit low, shy of 50%, but the South. So maybe that's an area, potentially, that you could break through to some people. Okay. Okay, let's see. The condescending Goomba says, will Bloomberg platform the antinatalist argument against adding more passengers on the sinking ship called Earth with climate change and all that? I get what you're saying. Pip Harris says, John, can you please apologize for mocking the Welsh language? I'm not mocking the Welsh language. Don't come at me, Welsh. I'm just saying initially when I read that, having not had the experience of much familiarity with the Welsh language, one can understand, I think, how I misinterpreted. I apologize. I love the Welsh. Okay. John, vaccines will be annually dosed forever, IMO. Yeah, possibly. I mean, we'll have to see how long we need to be taking vaccines for this. And by the way, if you're concerned that someday the booster shots will not be free, I get it. But as of right now, it is free and seemingly quite safe. Free medicine that actually works and doesn't seem to have many bad side effects doesn't often come in the United States. So, okay, Forbesilla says, John, I sent it like 2+ weeks ago. That does not mean that it isn't still in our P.O. box. I don't know that I've gotten a delivery from it in like 2 weeks. So, I'm sorry, I don't have direct access to the P.O. box, and Dave, I think, just takes whatever's in there. So, fingers crossed. Wild-Eyed Yeti says, I was hoping the vaccine would give me superpowers. I mean, my superpower was that I went to Cruella. In a theater. There were not a lot of people in the theater. It was difficult. I wanted to go to Quiet Place, by the way, but there were like no seats. Like literally in the theaters, there's only a few places they actually seat people. There's a big distance between them. But I went to a movie, goddammit. I went to eat sushi, and then I went to a movie. And you know what? 2 things. 1, I felt very safe. And 2, I was very safe. You know why? Because I'm vaccinated. And my wife is vaccinated. And we both wore masks. And the sushi place and the movie theater both took precautions. The vast majority of the seating was outside. That's where we were sitting, was outside. There was big gaps between the tables and between the seats. And LA County, as of 2 days ago, had 175 cases of COVID because we've done a really good job of vaccinating people. So my superpower is that I got to see Emma Stone as Cruella, and it was pretty good. I ate some popcorn, I had some sushi, and a little bit of sake. And I feel pretty good as a result of it. That's a superpower. April Dawn says, let's see. Florida is not all okay. My county is only 20% vaccinated. Sorry about that. I mean, look, we did stories early on about how certain counties were getting preferential treatment. The numbers I was looking at was just broadly, it looks like they're at around 50%. Black Empath says, hi, I'm Empath Dragon. If you want to learn more about comics, you should follow Dope Spill and Comicstorian. I'm not against learning more about comics. I don't think that I'm likely to begin reading them. And it's not just about comics. Like, I've always had a tough time with graphic novels as well. I like reading. I like art. Mostly just read, though. Okay, but thank you for the suggestion. Okay, we don't have much time, so I'm just going to briefly let you know that in addition to, or is it the same story? We're going to have to wade through this and find out through the course of the show today. But they're out there. Sidney Powell. Who's that new intern? Sidney Powell, Michael Flynn. Hey, Kyle. Welcome to Tier 2 YouTube membership. Enjoy the top 10 list coming on later today. Are out there calling for, or indeed saying, that there will be some sort of coup. So, former general saying there should be a military coup that overthrows our democratically elected governor. We're going to be talking about that more on the show. Sidney Powell saying one way or the other, whether it's a military coup or whether it's as a result of the Arizona recount, Donald Trump is going to be reinstated as president. Now, she admits at least that he won't get like penalty time for the months that Joe Biden has stolen from him, but he'll serve out the rest of his term. Now, it might be easy to say, well, that's nonsense. That's total nonsense. Michael Flynn lost his mind years ago. Sidney Powell might never have had hers. But Trump is also saying it. Maggie Haberman, reporter for the New York Times, says Trump has been telling a number of people he's in contact with that he expects he will get reinstated by August. No, that isn't how it works, but simply sharing the information. And she goes on to say, because someone responded, that's not how it works. And she responded, yeah, no, it's not, but that's what he's saying. It isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening as he faced the possibility of an indictment from the Manhattan DA. But he's not putting out statements about the audits in states just for the sake of it. He's been laser focused on them, according to several people who've spoken with him, as well as WAPO reporting a few weeks ago. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people would respond to that saying, well, that's just the continuation of the grift. It's raising money. But is it like, so all of his fundraising is a part of the grift, but him telling people in private, his close allies, a very specific thing, like he expects he will be president again in August, which, by the way, is a couple of months away. That's it. That's madness. It's not going to happen. There's no Arizona recount nonsense that ends with that There's no military coup coming. I really hope that someday we don't clip out me saying that as, look at this dumb lefty who didn't foresee the military coup. It seems unlikely at this point. And by the way, lots of bad stuff seems super likely. Biden completely losing control of the Senate in a couple of years, the Dems losing re-election in the presidential election because they do absolutely fuck all between now and then. There's lots of bad stuff coming down the pike. But this specific bad stuff seems unlikely. So why? Why would Donald Trump be telling his close allies that he's going to be president in just a couple of months? It's so verifiably not going to happen. Now, he'll be hurt less by the prediction being wrong than others would be. There's no consequences to him for getting things wrong. I get that. But what is the psychological or monetary incentive for doing this? I don't know. Edgar Fan says Trump is delusional. Sure. But is he though? Like, he's crazy, but mainly he's delusional in a PR sense. He says crazy things to his base, to the media, in press releases, on Twitter. And we get to have a debate about whether he believes it, but he doesn't have to believe it for it to potentially benefit him. Like, you say something crazy on Twitter, it's not true, it's not going to happen, but your base eats it up. There's a benefit to that. Why say it in private? He would have to believe, in a way that I don't believe he does, that they actually believe in a way I don't believe he believes they do, all of his bullshit. The grift can exist without true belief on his part or on the belief of his henchmen. Why act in a way that seems to necessitate true belief? I don't understand it. By the way, this is not leading to me having a conclusion. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because it's not going to happen. Maybe we'll have more details soon. Supposedly, his rallies aren't a long way off. Maybe that'll be an applause line at his rallies. And then it goes from the weird, unpredictable private thing to the we're much more familiar with this public grift and all that. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. But Arlene Jones, welcome to Tier 2 YouTube membership. I do appreciate that. I'm seeing clocks coming in. Sorry, we're going to end without a conclusion. Sena says, maybe Trump's playing a Vincent Gigante and just pretending to lose his sanity to help his legal problems. Nah. I get what you're saying. I don't. First of all, I don't think his legal problems are all going to be all that serious. We're going to continue. Like, if there's updates, we'll continue to tell you about them. But he's incredibly wealthy, incredibly powerful, incredibly connected. I still have no faith that they're going to go anywhere, I should say. Okay, lots of clocks. I get it. Sophie's going to be here any second. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It is great to be doing the pre-show again. We've got way more news where that came from. The pre-show. The full show is coming up. Francesca Fiorentini will be here. And whether you stay here or head to twitch.tv/TYT, I will talk to you soon.